Darcey Emmanuel.
And this is our podcast,
Saved. We are back again.
Again and again.
Better
Super
than ever.
excited to be here with you guys and just rap with you guys some more this week.
Yes.
We
got a very good topic to talk about today.
Yes. We are talking today about pushing through and figuring out your limits and pushing past those limits. But there's a certain formula that we want to kind of go over with you.
Formula, eh?
It is a formula. It is. And it's very specific to really help you get to the next level in your own journey, because we know and you know that we're all on a different journey.
Yes, we are. We're all on a different path that God has brought us down. And if we can shed any light or any experience that we've had, we would love to help you kind of figure out how to work through those things, or, just give you examples of how we've worked through different scenarios in our life. Obviously, nobody's lives are the same, but
Right.
if we can offer any guidance in any way, that's what we're here for, just to be as real and as raw as possible, and just to be upfront and honest about everyday struggles that we all go through, or everyday wins that we all go through, and just how to focus in on those and bring the best out of any scenario.
Right, because there's a greater you in you. You just have to find it. You have to dig deep for it, and you have to figure it out on your own terms and on your own timing.
Right.
And I mean, the formula is, like I say it, I'm going to say it because that's what it is. So the first step into figuring that out,
dive into it. What
is figuring out is going all in. So when I say that, I mean balls to the wall. I mean everything that you got, going hard at whatever it is that you want, right? But when you're pushing past and you're looking for that limit, it's how hard are you going in that time, right? Are you giving everything you got? And then when you get to that point of where you just have no more, okay, well, now you figured out that new limit. Once you figured out that limit,
that's your burnout.
Right. This is the time where you take a step back, you reflect, and you see where the areas that you could improve to make your overall push a little bit better the next time you go for it. Because we're not robots.
But in a sense, we don't want it to be that extreme, because constantly going up the peaks and the valleys and the peaks and the valleys and the peaks and the valleys, that's not healthy, and that's not long term, and that's not how you make, not even health, but just like a healthy lifestyle, not including your fitness and everything, just having a healthy mental lifestyle. The peaks and valleys are not good for you. Like, yes, you can learn from each and every one, but like, how can you be your best and keep it consistent without having to go through that valley and completely falling off?
Right, because you don't want to get too high and you don't want to get too low.
Right.
Even though these peaks and valleys, they're inevitable, they're going to happen. We can't get too low and we can't get ever too high, even when it's going really good. Right? Because there's going to be times where it's going really good, and there's going to be times where it's not going as good.
Right.
Where are you going to stay? Are you going to stay neutral? Are you going to stay level-headed? And are you going to understand how to deal with the highs and the lows of life? Because that's what life is all about.
And I think we should each specifically use like examples of peaks and valleys that we've been through here recently, what we learned out of them, and how we're going to take that to keep it consistent rather than peaking the valley, then peaking the valley, and peaking the valley.
Right.
So for me, that was 75 hard.
Yeah.
What about you?
I mean, I can relate to 75 hard. We could talk about the challenges in it.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, because 75 hard is great in the sense that like you're going to create a better consistency than you've ever created in your life, and you are physically going to look better probably than you've ever looked in your life. Like, it brought our relationship closer than we have ever been, ever.
And it's really ignited a whole nother fire into our consistency and just working out and wanting to make our body more healthier and feel better and just be not only more healthy for ourselves, but to give our kids an example as well.
But in that experience, this is where a lot of people go wrong. In that experience, most people reach to hit a peak, and then they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited or exhausted from going hard these last 75 days. I'm going to just relax now. I'm just going to take a significant time off. Like, no. Take what you learned from that experience, take the best things from that experience that you can relate to every single day, and fit into your schedule every single day without it stressing you out, and then continue those habits, because really there's staple habits within 75 Hard that are so healthy and so attainable if you so desire to make them be.
And you want to be getting better every single day. That
Exactly.
You're doing it. And it's not easy.
No, it's not easy.
By any means.
No,
it's
there's
not
some
easy.
days where it's like, holy crap, I don't know how we're going to have time to do this. But
we figured it out.
yeah, and there's 24 hours in a day. It's a lot of time.
And it was very uncomfortable.
It was very uncomfortable. But there's so much learning through
Right.
that uncomfortable scenario.
Right.
And I think so many times, speaking like back to clients, like if we use it in that example, there's so many times people work so hard to get to this goal. And then once they get to that goal, they're like, screw it. I'm just going to do what I want for like a month because I'm so proud of myself for reaching that goal.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys, it's so much easier to lose everything that you've just built than it is to get to that build that you want.
Right.
And not even in the physique, scenario, but like in the consistency and the habit changes that you've created. Like that takes 90 days to create a lifestyle change. That doesn't mean after 90 days you can be like, I'm good, I did it for 90 days, I don't have to do it anymore. Like, no, you learn those habits to make them lifelong, to change your life, because ultimately this isn't just a physical journey. This is a mental, spiritual, emotional, like we talked about time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so many things that you can learn about yourself through just investing into your health.
Right. And it's going to take your time. It's going to take those early mornings. It's going to take those late nights. If you're doing specifically 75 hard, for sure. Because if you have a life, it's hard to get a couple workouts in every single day. It's going to, especially a life and kids, it just makes it a little bit more challenging.
But they love it.
Exactly.
They love it.
I mean, you can work out with your kids. I
Literally.
did that a couple of times with Caius, So there's ways that you can make it work if you want to. That's what it all comes down to, guys. Do you want to or not?
Like, how bad do you want it?
I mean...
And that's not just in, like, we talked about fitness, we talked about 75 hard leg. Let's talk about career. Like, that's not just in health. That's also in your career. Like, you work so hard, find out you're not going to get this promotion. Screw it, nah. Then it's fine. Like, no, you're unhappy, so what are you going to do to change that? Why would you drop off? Why would you fall back? Why would you not be the person that you want to be? And you can even take it into, the winter blues that everybody goes through and seasonal depression. Like, think about how your consistency on anything in life is during that time. Think about how your dedication to anything in life is during that time. And start to focus on the mental health benefits that you can dive deep into, since that is the symptoms that you're dealing with. Like, that's serious.
It is.
And if you let that consume you, it can completely like
Destroy you.
It can destroy you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot. I'm not letting you talk that much. But we'll just use yesterday for an example. My dad passed away 3 years ago yesterday, and I was driving to church, and before I even noticed, like, I had Caius with me, and then my niece wanted to watch my niece wanted to watch our son Malachi, because he just wasn't feeling the greatest. So I took Kai with me to church, and we're just driving to church. It's probably like a 10-12 minute drive, something like that. And we're just driving to church, and before I even realize it, we're almost to town, and Kai goes, "Mommy, can we please listen to some music?" I've been driving in silence the entire time. And in a way, I'm like, okay, that's okay. But then in another sense, like, my emotions were completely numb that entire time.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize that I was doing it.
Yeah.
And then when I got to church, my whole mindset, like, changed. So that's what you got to think about. Like, can you invest into yourself more spiritually, more mentally, more whatever right now? Because right now, this time of year is so hard for myself, and I'm sure my family as well. I'm not going to speak for them. But, like, you have to find ways to deal with that stuff, or it's going to eat you alive.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, that's very, very true as far as people going through different emotions. So when the weather changes, when it starts to get colder outside, and on a different note, as far as it being that time of year, I mean, if you want to prepare for that summer body, I mean, you got to start working right now in the winter.
Right.
I mean, you got to start working. You can't stop. So maybe if you've been grinding hard all summer, and then you reach this time of year when it's like easy to fall off. You got Thanksgiving coming up. You got Christmas coming up. You got all these different occasions that are going to be great for eating. I mean, and I know I love my sweet potato pie.
But so, after you eat all those things, you're going to be like, oh, I just want to lay here and take a nap. Okay, cool. Take that nap, but get your workout in ahead of that.
Right.
So then it's already done. So then you don't have to worry about it. You can focus on staying consistent, and you'll feel so much better about your day. Like, think about it.
Yes.
Even if you run up and down the steps like 4 times, you'll be like, yeah, I got something in.
Right.
Now I deserve the sweet potato pie
You
right
can
here.
just sit on your ass all day.
Right.
You can just eat.
Yes.
You could get something out of it. You could still work on those days.
Yes.
You could still work in your house. You could still do different things to keep that consistency going, because once it becomes a lifestyle for you, that's when you're going to just be like, you know what, I'm glad I took that step forward. I'm glad I continued to push through and push through my limits, right? I continued to scale up.
Yes, and when it comes to your seasonal depression, all those things are going to benefit that mindset. Like, you can help yourself, but are you trying to? Like, what is your ability to push through?
Right.
If you focus on gratitude, focus on waking up and telling yourself you're proud of yourself, even if you're not, do it anyway. Do it anyway. It's going to trigger something in your brain that is just going to allow you to be a little better each day.
Right.
I'm not going to say every day is going to be perfect. Like, yesterday was rough. Yesterday was rough, but I knew that I needed to deal with those emotions in church because I did not have the capability to deal with that. Like, I don't even know how to explain how I felt yesterday because I've never felt like that before.
Right. You just kind of got to let your emotions take you, let God talk to you, sit back and listen
Open
to
your
Him try to
eyes,
talk to
open
you.
your ears, open your thoughts. Like, let Him guide you,
And
like
be
we've said
present.
before. Be present in it.
Right.
It's okay to feel that way.
Right. So, when you find that limit. The only way you can find that limit is if you push. Really hard and you go after everything that God is deserving or God is wanting for you and you're deserving of in your life. If you find that limit, okay, then you can sit back and reflect for a second.
Don't fall off.
Don't fall off, but
Reflect.
you reflect.
Yes.
You reflect on the areas in where maybe you didn't have as much success on that journey to finding that limit, and then you get better at it. You get a little bit better at it, right? And then that's how you scale up to find a whole nother new limit. Because our tolerance level, it's increasing if you want it to increase, and it can.
It's not about these peaks and valleys and peaks and valleys and peaks and valleys that society makes it out to. It's about what is your ability to push towards what you want, and when you don't get to that goal, how are you going to fall back, reflect on that, then be better, and then continue that journey? Because this is lifelong, y'all. This is lifelong. Do you want to constantly spin your wheels and go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and then try to continue to push forward? Because that's never going to happen. Like, how can you be as consistent as possible by working on yourself mentally as well, not just physically? It's so important, and it needs more recognition.
It's just as important, and it just carries as much weight as the other.
Absolutely, if not more.
Right. So, guys, we wanted to make sure you guys connected with us today, talked about pushing past your limits, talked about finding that limit within you, and then pushing past it some more, reflecting, taking that time to really look inside of yourself, look in the mirror at yourself, see what you can do to be better, and then making it happen. Because it's on you. You're the only person.
You're the only person that knows. You're the only person that knows.
And you're the only thing in the way.
Yep. And you can't work through this stuff without trying to do something about it. You cannot work through this stuff without writing it down on paper, burning that paper, writing it down on paper, reading it to someone that you trust. Like, put it out there, put that energy out there, stop holding on to that. You're building a brick wall that is eventually going to be knocked down by your own self. Like, you're going to completely crumble.
Right.
Build up that wall with a strong foundation by working from the inside out.
Right.
Literally.
It is.
But if you feel impacted by this at all, or if you feel like somebody that you know or love
would feel impacted
by this, help them in their journey, help yourself in this journey. Like, share this, subscribe to it, y'all. We're coming back every single week to just give you our insight on what we've learned about ourselves through our own journey. Like, we're not bringing stuff to you that
is from nowhere. It's actually our own experiences and the things that we're going through and that we've fought over and been through already.
And we just want to help you through those journeys as much as possible by teaching you the ways that we worked through those things.
So, guys, we love you. We appreciate you. We're excited to continue to share our journey with you guys.
We can't wait to hear from you next week.
We got a Black Friday special coming out, coming soon.
And a Cyber Monday.
So definitely check the website. Definitely stay up with what we got coming, guys. We've been having, and people getting some great results that have been a part of our family. So just continue to be locked into the kingdom and never forget.
You got this.
You got this, guys.